Madam President, I rise to compliment my finance chair, who I think is a beautiful mind, and how he thinks and how he brings this state forward. I don't know anyone else like him. I always want to give him that respect. And to the chair of appropriations for the Senate, who has been very open and transparent and reaching out to the members to see what our needs are and discussing it with us. I really do appreciate it, because Senator Austin does this not just because she has to, but she does it with such love and perfection and reaching out to everybody. She puts all the personal stuff aside and takes care of the business, and I truly appreciate her for the amount of time that she puts into this. And I think she's a rare flower, and I want to give her flowers while she's living and say thank you. And I want to speak on some of the things that are in the budget. My other life before I came here, I ran a nonprofit for 18 years for breast cancer. And food was really important to me, a lack of access to food, high quality food and services, always played a role in my conversations with women who are going on the journey of breast cancer. And I'm so happy to see that we're now focused on container gardens that will help in urban centers where there's no place to put open land to do gardens. And also, you know, Brass City up in Waterbury has done a phenomenal job. I've always wanted to be just like them and what they're doing with food work, and I saw money in the budget for them to continue. But also incentives for grocery stores who build in urban centers, really important. We had funding about 2 years ago from the governor in bonding for Mount Growmore. It at one time was a trash moor. And through the state of Connecticut and some federal funding and working with the city of Bridgeport, they are turning that into a hydroponic farm to give food in a food desert. We've also received funding in the past to help finish a development that will have a grocery store. This is in an area where they have to go into another town to really get a full service grocery store. So this complements the work. I truly believe that there is not one answer to address mortality and cancer. I think it's a multifaceted approach, making sure people have access to services, they're getting correct, non-biased information, and that they have access to good, healthy, wholesome food, and that they can afford it. And since coming here, this is my 9th year, I can see that journey building where we're getting to where we need to go. We're not there yet, but I think it has been a great journey. I look at the funding for the community health centers. It is the one place that I could always depend on to send a woman who didn't have health insurance, who needed any type of health screening. And I remember my friend Lutz Spinelli, who was at the in Bridgeport at the health center, and Optimist, who had told me in my very first year of running my nonprofit that he would never turn one of my women away who needed help. It's all those things working together. So I'm hoping that we can continue to fund those places that handle everyone when there is a health emergency or regular screening, because I believe more in prevention than I do in taking somebody on after they get sick. So these are all really important to me, but my heart is in this gun violence prevention and this commission that I thank this whole circle for supporting it 2 years and creating that commission. And I think Commissioner Jahani, who has been right on making sure she holds meetings, that the commission comes together, and that they're involved with the decisions regarding where the funding goes, because I do wholeheartedly believe that it is on the ground in the communities where the answers to gun violence that can be addressed, and that the people who are most impacted are the people in the communities. So I'm very grateful for the gun violence money that's gone into the Department of Public Health. And I'm happy to say that I have worked with the commissioner and her staff to figure out what is the best way to use that money, to make sure that small organizations receive funding, to make sure that those programs are evaluated. For me, that is really important, that we don't pour money into programs and we don't know what the expected outcomes will be or how the money is going to be used. I am a real stickler, not only with the state's money, but with my own, on how money is spent, and that people be held responsible for every dollar, and programs that are just starting from the beginning. Give them an opportunity to show if they can help in the community, and if they can't, give them the resources to get where they need to be. So the final thing is I saw funding. I did go through the whole bill. Senator Duff was surprised. I said, I want to read the whole bill. So I spent like 6 hours last night going through. I said, I read all of it. He said, do you want all of it? I said, I want all of it. There's an analyst that's going to be in the office of the CWC SEO who's going to look at how we get rid of food and food that's maybe not expired but not at the best, to figure out how much food do we waste, and what is the determine a way of how we get that to people who are hungry. You know, I'm picky about giving people substandard anything. If you're going to give somebody something, give them something that you would want to eat. And so this analyst will be in there. And I want to thank a young man from Bridgeport who I met a couple of years ago, who would not, his name is Reggie Stark, who would not give up on this. He did everything he could to make sure that we created this office that would look at leftover food and food waste. So I'm really happy for a lot of this. I know we can always do better. And I hope we will get to that place. I know that there's always something that you wanted, including me, that you don't get. But I do believe in compromise, and I believe wholly in fairness. And I think that this, for many reasons, is a good budget, and I will be supporting it. Thank you.